Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very, very special edition of the Musings and Music Show. This is an extraordinary episode we're going to have right here. I know I say this one is, I keep saying special show, so probably you just think, okay, just saying it again. Not this time, because this is an impromptu, we had to have the show because of the guest that I have on it today. Up to, I would say, just 3 days ago or 4 days ago, this is not the show I intended to have. I had something else planned, had to shift all of that out to say, this particular show must be done. First things first, this is MBIWAN MONJIMBO, if you did not know who it was. I'm the host of this Musings and Music Show, and I have a special guest with me here today, and I will have her introduce herself to you. So who are our viewers and listeners blessed to have in front of them today?
Hi, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the Vosaworld radio show with Auntie EGBE, the one and only Massacre Pride. My name is...
I think we lost, you muted yourself just, yeah.
In the UK.
So start over if you don't mind, because just as you were saying your name, the mute thing came on by mistake. So just go ahead and start over. You were saying your name and then it went off.
Okay. My name is Hilda Ngelo'S. I'm a Cameroonian. I'm a secret, like you all know. I'm a fashion blogger. I'm also a tech girl on HILDA'S. I work in IT and I currently live in London.
There you go. And she talked about the fashion blogger thing. In fact, when I said this is an impromptu show, it's not as if we were going to have a show. We had made the plans and everything. It was going to be about something completely different from what we're having now. You see this scarf I'm wearing right here? I was trying to make sure that the label actually shows. This is it there. It says there's an M on it and there's a P on it. I don't know if you can see it. An M and a P. Can you tell the viewers and the listeners, what does the M and the P stand for?
So my logo is a short form for my nickname, my alias, MAMMYPI. So that's a fun name I was given as a child by my playmates. And since then, those who know me, they refer to me as MAMMYPI. And I wanted to be different. I wanted to be, to stand out. When I launched my fashion blog, I decided to go by that name because most people know me as MAMMYPI. Even though my name is Hilda Ngelo'S. So when you call me MAMMYPI, I know you know me like I know you. Right.
So that's what whenever we're supposed to sit down and have a show, it was supposed to be about fashion. Yeah. I had gotten ahead and I saw these and I said, oh, this is beautiful. This is silk, by the way. But you see, it's not the regular silk scarf. It is ethnic, you see, it kind of matches the hair tie that I have on, the headgear I have on. Yeah. She had this. I will just go ahead and show you while we're on it. I got these two. You can see. Beautiful accessories for you, nice and soft, not made out of the regular cotton that we use. So the plan was, when you have a minute, come and sit down. Let's talk about your fashion design side of you and go ahead. And then I did not hear from her. I was going, well, don't start prodding and pushing people. When the time is right, she will show up back and say, hey, what about that plan, those plans we had? I'm ready now. It's only until maybe, I think 3 days ago, I wake up in the morning and somebody has sent me a video. And they're saying, oh, wow, there's this cigarette that has this story. You know what I'm going to do, viewers, it's right for the viewers, even the listeners too will be able to hear. I want to go ahead and just share a little bit of that video that I was sent, that sent me into shock and tears. Let's see if I can find it here. And it is going to be one of these right here. See if I can share that screen. It may take me a minute, but I'll get it done. Here it is.
I hope you're out of shock.
The latest technology and augmented reality, we're going to show you your body in a way that you've never seen it before. The first patient to one of our imaging centres is 40-year-old fashion influencer Hilda from London, who's come along with her best friend.
I love clothes. I think they're beautiful. It's so cute. With endless possibilities, you can be whoever you want to be in whatever outfit you choose to wear. Oh, I love this.
Hilda and best friend Lua have shared a love of fashion since being teenagers.
Oh my God. There was a year that we went to all the parties, didn't we? Yeah. We skipped classes for the parties. You know, we were always, you know, wearing mini skirts, you know, always looking for the next outfit and the next tickets to the next event to go to. Those were the best years of our lives.
But Hilda has been hiding under her clothes a growing and painful problem in her abdomen, which has dramatically worsened in the last few months.
Recently, my tummy has just gotten bigger. It's been really hard.
She's been referred to the care of Mr. Stephen Quinn, a consultant gynecologist at St Mary's Hospital in London. This is a very extreme case, isn't it?
It is, yes. And we would see a case like this maybe once or twice a year.
The frightening escalation in Hilda's symptoms means action is now required.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop it for a second right there. And let's get back to what we were discussing. Why I had, let me stop the share for the time being, and so we have it back. So I see that and I'm going, because they said there's a secret. But then I start to look at the video and I see you and I'm going, isn't that the MAMMYPI that I know? Because the last time that we had met was at the EXA UK Gala of Convention of 2017 or 2018 or maybe even 2019, 2018, when there was no COVID, went on out there. The person that I had seen, look at the pictures that you saw there before, that you watched there before. And so they were telling me about a secret. I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at this whole story. Then I look at the thing and I stop it in the middle of the thing and text the person back to say, isn't this the MAMMYPI I know, who I had? So at the time then in 2018, you say, was this on the scene at all, this thing this doctor is talking about and saying a very serious condition? Were there any symptoms yet?
Yeah, there were symptoms, but I'd learned to live with them and I was just going on with life because this wasn't my first surgery. I had my first myomectomy in 2010 and I was fine for about 3 years after that. At the time, nobody was talking about fibroids. There wasn't any information about fibroids out there. And it was just something that I went for an outpatient's clinic and I was told that I had fibroids and I was having really bad symptoms. So I remember the doctor who was looking after me at the time, you know, said to me she was going to perform a myomectomy, but, you know, not that I'm discrediting her work. I wasn't quite engaged in my care. I didn't understand what was happening. I just knew that I had fibroids and they needed to be taken
Which
out.
is not a very, okay, not that it's their everyday thing, but we know about fibroids from Cameroon. People say I have fibroids, they go, they take care of them, and then you just, as you're saying, an outpatient kind of a thing, you will get it done and you're on your feet and good to go.
Yeah, remember like 10, 11 years ago, it's not as today where information is, you know, on your fingertips. You click on, you know, everybody's picking up, you know, people are more bold to come out with what they're suffering from, and people are sharing knowledge now more than before. So this information wasn't there with, you know, plus the stigma that surrounds fibroids, you know, your uterus and all of that. People were not really talking, and I went through this.
Even now they're not talking. Even now,
they're still not talking.
Who wants to come and be discussing their uterus? Hey, you can say my finger hurts, my arm hurts. Who's supposed to say I have problems with my uterus? Who? So that's why I'm already applauding you for even wanting to come and stand here and share your story.
Nobody should really be defined by their uterus. We have a lot more to offer than our uterus. So this is me telling the story and trying to empower women who are probably going through the same thing that I've been going through over the years. So back in 2010, when I had that surgery, I remember the surgeon telling me, oh, you have so many fibroids, but I'll only go in and take out what I can remove. So she went in and took some out, and I don't know how many she took. That information wasn't provided, you know. I didn't ask the right questions at the time because I didn't know any better. And my follow-up care I didn't have a follow-up care, so I couldn't even follow up with what happened, you know, during surgery. So I was just left to go home and he recovered, which was such a tough journey. And then I was better for about 3 years and they started coming back. I had a couple of hysteroscopies in between where they would try to go in and just, using keyhole and just scrape them out, but they realized that they were too big and they couldn't do it that way. And I remember vividly, one doctor said to me off the record, I would advise you not to carry on having surgery. If you can tolerate the pain, just go on with it. And that's what stuck in my head. And I was like, if a doctor is telling me this, then they probably know why they're saying that. But that was the worst advice I'd ever taken from a medical professional, because I sat in my comfort zone. I'd become very used to the pains that I was experiencing. Like you were saying, when we met at the convention, I was having a really bad episode. It was a very, very traumatic one for me. And
we couldn't tell. You looked fantastic in that gown. You even came and interviewed me there and Sister Irene on the red carpet out there. And you sent the videos afterwards.
But what was happening at that time, I'll tell the viewers now, I was just like blood was running through me and I wanted to cry, but I didn't want to cry on camera. I was so embarrassed. I felt
Yes, you did the mute thing again. Unmute yourself. It got muted by mistake again.
For my period to come during that period. So I wasn't, I had some, like really light panty liners and things like that. I would always go around with them, but I wasn't carrying, the right sanitary towels for a situation like that.
Correct.
So like a few of the girls that knew what was going on, they all ran to their rooms and tried to help me, but it just, the pressure, dealing with, trying to make the red carpet work, trying to make sure that everybody had glam photos of themselves taken. I was under so much pressure and anxiety, and I think it just triggered that episode.
It made it, yes.
So
made it worse, made it major. Because we all know that even some of us that have gone through, who don't have a period anymore, menopause and everything. If you really are stressed, you can have those episodes occur. And if we don't talk and say these things like we're saying them now, somebody would have it and say, let me not say anything. It looks as if I'm an anomaly, a strange case. I don't want to scare people. I don't want people to start talking about me.
Yeah.
The more we keep quiet, the more we just make these things taboo, which should not be taboo. There is nothing anybody has done to go get. You see how that story, after we spoke, because I called you when I saw that video and realized it was, I sat and thought about the fact that, look at that woman, we talk about the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible.
Yeah.
If there had been all of this machinery and equipment and all of those things, that's probably something related to something that she actually did have.
Yeah.
She's sitting there and we have a person. I still am shocked and stunned, just that now I see you and I know that you're here and you're fine, but I was in tears.
That's what I say to everybody who's watched the video. They reach out to me, they're crying. I'm like, you shouldn't be crying, you should be thanking God, because he's made, he's worked his miracle in my life and there's no reason to cry. I just want you to empower another, especially young girls who may not even have the means. They could be going through the same thing and nobody's listening to their symptoms. They're just saying it's period pain. You know, it shouldn't be just period pain, because why are some women not having period pains and some other women are really experiencing,
excruciating?
Yes. So listen to people when they say they're in pain. I cannot rate my pain on a scale to 1 to 10 for you to understand, but I'm actually dying inside. Wow. It's been a really tough journey, like it's been a battle.
I can imagine.
It's been a battle. So
you know what I may want to do, because we stopped there when the doctor was saying, right the way I realized you said, referred to him as, is it Mr. Quinn? Why doesn't he get called Dr. Quinn? Is there a reason why? It just
so in the medical professional year, so even though they're a doctor, I think the right way to refer to them is Mr.
Okay. It just
And
struck me because I
for a
watched the
female doctor, it would be Miss, Miss
right.
Tolder. So my
Right.
previous consultant was Miss Tolder,
Uh-huh.
but she's a married woman, but in the medical profession, it's Miss, and for the man, it's Mr. So
Wow. It
it's
just,
more, yeah.
It's an
to
off-topic
refer to
question.
the-
I just had to ask. I said, but why is it? Because here everybody says doctor. So in Cameroon, the same thing. So I was like, why
No.
is he Mr. Quick? Because he's clearly a very knowledgeable, certified doctor. I want us to
Yes.
go ahead and watch a little bit more of that video, because if it's for somebody who has not seen it all, they're wondering, okay, what are they really talking about? They sound as more alarmed than based on what we saw. So that we can actually be thankful, even more thankful. When she says, don't cry, thank God, let us see the rest of it and also appreciate what technology, how far we have come with science, and be able to appreciate that. Let me go and see if that thing is still there, and let's watch a little bit more of it. Hold on a minute. I think we were right here. Let's see, this is the one that we're trying to look at. I want to go back to this one, and I can move it forward if it's not where it should be, if it's not queued. Here is what we were watching. But it's starting over again, so I'm going to move it along to kind of where we were, which is right about here. Okay.
Pathologist at St Mary's Hospital in London. This is a very extreme case, isn't it?
It is, yes. And we would see a case like this maybe once or twice a year.
The frightening escalation in Hilda's symptoms means action is now required.
I want to be able to see inside myself to better understand what's going on, where the pain is coming from. And I'm just hoping that there would be a long-term solution for this condition.
She's about to confront the source of all her anguish. Aha!
Hi, Kate.
Lovely to meet you. Take a few, sit down.
Thank you.
Lovely. So you must be Hilda.
I am Hilda.
And you're Lua.
Yes, I am.
Best friends.
Forever.
Forever. I like that. I mean, I can tell straight away that you love clothes. You are in fashion and you look amazing and you're disguising it, but your tummy is very distended, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you sort of show us a little bit?
Yeah, it's there. So that's why I try to go for outfits that, are kind of loose. I'm always trying to mask it.
What is this condition?
I was diagnosed with fibroids.
Fibroids are the most common gynecological condition in the UK, affecting up to 40% of women of reproductive age. Fibroids are non-cancerous growths that form in and around the womb or uterus, and for most women, symptoms will be mild or even non-existent. But in extreme cases, they can cause severe pain, heavy bleeding, even infertility, and sometimes a bulging tummy, all of which are affecting Hilda. Now, you are going to have an emotional moment, I suspect, because you know that you're going to be seeing inside that bump that you're constantly trying to hide, and seeing what's causing it. How do you think you'll feel when you come face to face with that?
Honestly, I'm ready for it. I cannot wait, come face to face with fibroids and just tell them to leave my body and never return.
Now, what do you want to come out of today for your friend?
I'm not asking for too much, but for somebody who in a month has only like 7-8 days where she's her bubbly self, I just want a bit of normalcy for her.
Well, look, let's hope today you get a chance to see a solution and a way forward. Taking Hilda through for her consultation is Dr. Goody.
Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you, Dr. Goody. Do you want to come with me then? Sure. Thank you.
Today's a chance for Mr. Quinn to not only explain to Hilda exactly what is going on in her abdomen, but also outline a potential treatment that could help her.
So this is a fantastic opportunity. What I'm really hoping today with this three-dimensional imaging is to get a much clearer idea of exactly what's going on in the pelvis. Hopefully give some reassurance that symptoms will get better.
Hi, Stephen. Hello, Mr. Queen.
Hello, Hilda. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
Now, what we have here are your scans, and we want to be able to show you in more detail what's happening inside your body, and not just in 2 dimensions, but in 3 dimensions. Now, how do you feel about seeing that?
I'm excited. I'm hoping this would be a great opportunity for me to also understand what's inside my body.
Right then, I think we should do it.
Okay,
Let's go.
The key organs in Hilda's MRI scan have been transformed into incredible 3D augmented reality. So what she sees is actually her own insides. I'll be next door with Lua, watching as Hilda comes face to face with her fibroids for the very first time.
Do you think this is going to be quite hard for her?
It is going to be hard. I actually feel like I'm shaking. Suddenly, yeah.
Right, let's put the headsets on then.
That's unbelievable.
This is your body.
Yeah.
So this is how your abdomen's currently coming out. You can actually see your belly button.
I can see that now. Yeah.
Just there.
Does this kind of feel like your body? Because
It does indeed, because, you know, I've got that protruding belly and that looks exactly like me. That's scary, but very interesting.
You look at that, you can see the burden
Yeah.
in every sense she's been carrying.
I want her to know what she's carrying, because we call it a monster, because it feels like she's been pregnant for a long time without actually having a baby.
For Hilda to find out exactly what's causing her swollen abdomen, she needs to take a closer look at her uterus, as this is the organ where fibroids develop. But first, Mr. Quinn wants to show Hilda what a healthy uterus looks like.
So Hilda, what we can see here is a uterus inside the pelvis. So this is a normal sized uterus. So that's the sort of space that a uterus would normally occupy.
I think what is interesting here is if you look at it, the uterus is really low down in the pelvis. It just sits very kind of tucked in and away and out the way. Now, I would like to show you what your uterus looks like. And I know that you're really keen to see it.
Yeah.
But it might be difficult for you to see this next image. So I want you to be prepared and ready for it. And I'm going to show you your uterus here, just next to the other one, so you can see what they look like side by side. Yeah?
Let's go for it.
Yeah? Okay then.
That's scary.
So Hilda, what we're seeing here is your uterus. So you can see it's unfortunately extending well out outside the bones of the pelvis.
Oh my God.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
I'm going to pause it here again a little bit. And I mean, let me stop my share. I have seen that 2 times now. The first time, the second time. And each time I go, each time.
Yeah.
And then you are standing there, and that is you, because I'm looking at it from the outside. I'm looking at you are standing there, and that's what's inside you. And you're thinking, I admire your courage. I would pass out.
This is the thing, right? In December, or no, in November of 20, where are we today?
2022. So
in November of 2021, I had a scan. So I went to the hospital I was going to donate my kidney to my brother who was, had renal failure. So the hospital I went to, they had to do like a screening, general screening, to make sure that I was fit, I was well. They'd done the cross match and I was a perfect match for to be a donor. And the next phase for that process was for me to have a full body screening. So they booked me all the scans, all sort of appointments, and I went for my MRI scan, and the doctor that was doing that scan was alarmed. He was very pissed off. He wasn't happy. When he saw me, he was like, when he was doing the scan, he's like, when we started, we were chatting, you know, he was all nice and pleasant. And as he got into the scan, I realized that, you know,
his
he just
demeanor changed.
Yes, his demeanor changed. He went red. He was really angry. He was so upset. And he stopped talking to me. You know, I was trying to be friendly and nice, and that man
Yes,
wasn't
not responding anymore.
He wasn't responding. I was like, what are you on about? Like, why is this so personal? What have I done to you? I'm just laying
I
here.
mean,
You know?
and if that had been from the beginning, then you would say this is just a strange man. But just a second ago, he was friendly.
Yeah. And he asked me, why are you here again? I said, because, you know, I was so excited. I thought I was going to do something really noble. You know, I was so ready for it. And I was so happy that I was going to donate my kidney to my brother, because what else can I offer my brother in this lifetime? So that guy looked at me and he was just really upset. Really, it was really personal. He was so upset. And I was like, okay. And I knew I had fibroids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, it's just a couple of fibroids. It's not the end of the world. I can still give my brother a kidney. And he took my results, and we went and met my the doctor who, you know, who had me in their care.
Right.
And they told me there and then that I should go and sort out my life. That I wasn't going to offer. There's no better way to put it. They looked at me straight in my eyes and told me, Hilda, we know what you're doing is noble. We know that you care about your brother, but our concern is you. It's not your brother, because we're receiving from you to give to your brother. But we cannot do that. We need to make sure that you're healthy, you're fine. We're not just going to take a kidney because you want to save your brother. You need to go and get sorted out. And they wrote, because the hospital we went to was my brother's hospital. Right. I was just there as a donor.
Yes.
So they had to refer me back to my own doctor. So they wrote a 3-page letter, long letter with all this clinical jargons, you know, saying what they're seeing. And it was a matter of urgency. It was clinically urgent.
This is November of 2021, but it's December of 2021.
Yeah. So it was November.
November.
So I went back to my own doctor, and they booked another MRI now at my hospital, because they didn't have the results. They only had what had been written on paper.
Right.
So they booked another MRI scan, and my consultant read the results of the MRI. She wasn't available during that period. I think she had gone on holiday, and I could not go to hospital because of COVID. So everything was over the phone.
Right.
And she called me one day. I was with my mom. My mom was in the living room. I was in the bedroom. And she said, Hilda, listen to me and listen carefully. The plan was, before she booked me to have an MRI, the plan was she would do my procedure in April to remove it.
Yes, of 2022.
Yes, she was going to do my procedure April 2021, sorry. So all of this was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had my procedure in 2021, September 2021. So all of this was in 2020. Sorry, time has flown. Yes. So she said the plan was to do my procedure in April 2021, as soon as possible. But when she saw my results, she called me and she said, unfortunately, she cannot do my procedure. What she's seen is above any training that she's ever had as a doctor. What she's seen was above her pay grade, and she just doesn't have the right skills to look after me. And she said, Hilda, you have 45 fibroids.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45.
And I was like, what did you say? She said 45. I didn't want my mom to hear what she was saying. And I was so shocked. I knew I had fibroids, right? But I never knew I had 45 fibroids. That was alarming. And I started crying. I cried for such a long time. And then I told my mom. And I was like, how can I have 45 fibroids? This is not true. Something is wrong. So she sent me to Mr. Queen.
Okay.
And Mr. Queen is the specialist now. So she
One
referred me
in the
to
video.
Mr. Queen, yeah. And Mr. Queen looked at the results, and that's where the augmented reality comes in. So the BBC had to look at my scan again, and Mr. Queen said, we cannot operate upon you the way you are. We need to put you on some treatment for 6 months to reduce the risk of bleeding and of hysterectomy during your surgery. So I was given an injection that puts you into a clinically induced menopause for 6 months. And I just want to shout out to all the women out there who've gone through menopause. Like, yeah, the things that women
flashes
go through.
Yes, but you see,
EGBE.
we the rest of us, no shout out, but the rest of us knew it was coming. We've read in books.
But we are not told. We are not told what it is about. We know it's something that's going to happen, but women are not prepared for it when it happens.
True.
So that's another education on its own.
Right.
Because the experience is the worst experience that I've ever had, especially because mine
was premature. What are you doing at what age?
Yeah.
At what age?
It was the most horrible experience that I've ever had. I didn't sleep for at least 5 months. I had like, there was heat in my brain. I could feel like heat inside
like
my
your
brain.
Combustion, you're going to actually just burn up.
It was horrible.
Especially because you see, no matter what we say, anything that is induced is not the normal procedure. That's why it's being called and it's being induced. As opposed to somebody who is going through normal menopause, nothing is being induced. That is what your body is going through, and it may be much more gradual than PAM injection. And you provoke it, my dear.
So the day Miss Tolda told me that I had 45 fibroids, that's the day, the first time in my life, I actually accepted that I was unwell. Because, you know, prior to that, I was just carrying on as normal. I was just going about my life.
Fashionista, hey, to look at you, nobody would ever guess. Nobody would ever guess.
So the day she told me, and even those who, you know, are not insiders, they still saw me going on because, you know, when these things happen to you, you have to look for a way. You need to look for something positive in your life to focus that energy to it. Otherwise, what else is going to happen?
It will finish. You will end up going from the stress and depression than the actual condition that you're even struggling from. For real.
Yeah. So when she told me that, I actually knew on that day that I was unwell, and I actually started seeing myself. I could see that so many things were wrong that I'd been ignoring for such a long time. I could see it was just right there, and everybody else was seeing them. But because I was just going on as if it wasn't happening, you know, people just got along with whatever I was doing. But I was actually dying. Because
message to us friends. We need to speak. You see it, say something. Of course, don't go and start saying "Mama mia" in the bit, but you can say, "Bo, how?" You see, because sometimes we too are scared. We're in denial, saying, "Man, go talk." Then when the thing happens, say, "But I mean, look, I be trying to wonder." You see, those are the things that sometimes all of this let us learn all the lessons that there are to be learned from this thing, so it's not repeated. Because I know I have done that before, and I saw a friend whose brother didn't look good in they went for a cry die somewhere there in Cameroon. I looked at the picture and I called his older brother and said, what's going on there? He's not looking well. Luckily, in that case, there actually was something they had already figured it, they had already realized he wasn't feeling well, and he was already on his way to treatment. And they were like, wow, how did you spot that out? I said, this is not the smiley, bubbly person I know.
The person that I know. So
yes,
I think it's not friends saying it, it's how they say it, how you say it really matters.
Right.
You know,
right.
And who you say it to. So because you could actually help somebody who's dying and they would open up to you. Some people don't even have people to talk to when they're going through situations like that. So knowing how choosing the right words and, you know, being empathetic and, you know,
Not for scandalous purposes. Yes, scandalous purposes. We hear say this, and definitely you're not helping anybody. You're just making it even worse. Better you just keep quiet. If you're going to do that kind, then we just go ahead and be silent. If you're not going to do something with empathy, with sympathy, with concern, and talk to the right people, like you say, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Or talk to somebody who is close to them who can do it better. If not, so we're just learning the lessons as we move along. And my goodness.
Yeah. So that's what happened, and I was given this injection that lasted for 6 months. So my surgery was delayed now because of the injection, because we're trying to minimize blood loss and, you know, stop the fibroids from growing. So it would help. And the augmented reality, instead of the 45 fibroids that Miss Tolda had told me about, there was 90 at the time of that filming where we're in the hall.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw 90.
I'm glad they only saw the 45. If they had told you 90, maybe we would have passed out. I would not be here today.
I would have probably died before the day of surgery.
Yeah, I'm glad they only saw 45 and just told 45. By the time you get to 90, you've already even mentally prepared yourself. Yes.
So
my Lord.
On the filming, they found a lot of things because
the sound went a little. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just pause a little. We're having a little bit of a technical issue here, so I will pause. Are you back on? Try speaking and let's see.
Back on, but
you're back on and it's good.
You've gone quiet.
I have gone quiet. You can't hear me.
Because somebody tried to interrupted my.
Okay, can you hear me back now or no?
I can hear you, but it's really quiet. So
it's very faint. We can go ahead and I can hit the pause button briefly and we sort this all out and come on back. Let me do that for a minute. Let me hit the pause button.
Fine.
It's fine now. Okay, good, perfect. Or we'll have this interview. Whoever it is that is trying to prevent it from happening, it's not going to work. We'll have this chat like it's supposed to be. So you were at the point where you were even saying, okay, so you know what we should also figure out, when did the surgery take place? Because we're seeing this now and we're thinking, okay, maybe the surgery was yesterday. Because we're seeing you in the pictures now. When did the surgery itself actually take place?
So I was given that injection in April and my surgery took place in September.
Okay, so April of 2021 and the surgery was in September of 2021. Okay.
Months, that was the cause of that injection to, you know, work as they planned. And even in September, you know, my surgeon and his clinical team, they had to change everything about my procedure from the theater where I was going to be operated upon. He had to bring in more clinical, you know, specialists from, like, I had a bowel surgeon, I had a heart surgeon, because what had happened, I was saying before we got cut off, the fibroids had actually started, you know, damaging one of the vessels that was taking blood up into my heart. So, and you could see in the video also that it had damaged my bladder. You know, my bladder became really flat. So I was constantly in and out of the loo because I couldn't hold urine for long and I couldn't hold as much urine as a normal person would. So the surgery took place on the 10th of September last year. So it's been like 5 months today.
Right. How much time between them showing you the picture, the images like that, and the surgery? Like they showed you went, so how much time?
1 week, exactly a week. Yeah, so that was
you went home and sat for 1 week. Now that after seeing the images of the 95.
Yeah.
Oh, you've gone, God bless you. You've got, look at you. You just will have, you will live as long as Methuselah after this. And look at even another lesson to learn. You were trying to go do a noble and good deed. And in trying to do that noble and good deed, look at what happened to you. Had you sat there and said, I'm not, which kidney? My own first day for the go get kidney. You see now? Because it's not a matter of, I know that the video said, okay, trying to describe or define fibroids, the video said non-cancerous growths. So you're thinking, okay, if cancer already did, then what's the big deal? But look at what it is doing to other organs though.
Yeah.
Which is affecting the bladder. It's affecting the heart. So I know nobody sits and says cause of death, fibroids. That's not what we are used to hearing. But that could be the
could
pathway.
Destroy other organs without you even realizing that, you know, the fibroid is the root cause, but what would actually kill you is if one of your organs, you know, stop working because of the weight, the pressure that the fibroids have on them. And this is the other thing, like talking about donating, you know, in our community, this is something that we should actually think about and you learn about donating our organs to our loved ones, because something like a kidney, you only need one kidney to survive. You don't need to, you know, God works in mysterious ways. That's why he gave us two. But
it's
really,
fair. It's like a spare tire.
Yeah. There are people who have lived with one kidney without even knowing they only had one kidney, and they've gone to donate their kidneys and they've realized that they only had one.
That's when
they had one kidney.
Yes.
So
I had Wele. I don't know if you know what time you were in Seka. I had Wele.
Yeah, Wele is my classmate and my sister. So
there you go.
Yeah.
She was like one of the first people on this show, which is why I'm even doing this at all. I'm not a trained journalist. You are the one that's a trained journalist and everything. Some of us are not. My own is just come and yap my mouth and get whoever, people like you, who are willing to come and sit down there and tell your story. So that somebody sitting down there says, I only have fibroids. It's not a big deal. It might be a big deal. It could grow into a big deal. And there's some of us who sit down there now and let months and months pass, even years pass before we go and get ourselves checked. Maybe we should do those checks much more often than we think to do them. And then I cannot help thinking about, I'm looking at this technology and going, wow. Wow.
When I was growing up, there wasn't, you know, people that I could look up to and talk to about how I was feeling, what I was going through, for them to advise me, to even help me. You know, when you're growing up in Cameroon, there's, you know the way that the system is. We don't have that in our community. And for me, I want to be that person that I needed when I was young to somebody else.
Yes.
And in the last week, the number of people, even Caucasian women, that have reached out to me saying they've been suffering with this, they've been scared, but I've really given them hope that their situation is not as bad as mine, but they were so afraid. But I've given them courage and hope to go ahead with their surgeries and all of that. Right. It brings a lot of joy to my face, but this is not the end of the struggle, because we need to find out what the root cause of fibroid is.
In the first place, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Surgery is not a solution to fibroid. It helps, like Dr. Quinn, Mr. Quinn said, he wants to be able to help me with some of the symptoms and, you know, help me get my quality of life
back. Yes.
But then there's a bigger problem where we need to tackle it from the root.
Mm-hmm.
What is causing fibroids, and what can be the long-term solution for this?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
that's why getting up to speak like you're doing, you're definitely part of the solution moving forward. People cannot just sit down there and just be guessing.
No.
They have to look at the thing now and follow up with you. And that's another thing that we lack back in Cameroon. We lack back home. We don't have histories like that.
No, data is not being collected.
Nope.
You know, our health.
We even just guess. Yes. Somebody like you have had a thing, and then they say it just so it struggled then and just go. And then we don't even know what actually happened to the person. There are certain all kinds of stories. You can imagine I've not even gone anywhere near the stigma. Look at you, you're pretty much wearing a maternity dress. Yeah. Somebody who was a slim person who I knew you that evening gown you wore that day, as just slim person. So now you're having to wear this maternity dress, and with that will come the questions. Hey, somebody starts congratulating you.
I was getting that all the time. Congratulations.
How did I know?
You know, I would go to the supermarket, and when I try to carry my shopping, they'll be like, "Are you sure you can do it?" Because they're already thinking she's pregnant. Why is she carrying heavy loads? And I know the mean well, but you can imagine what that effect it has on me. It was so stressful. It was draining, and I lost my self-confidence. I'm a very confident person, you know, because I learned to be confident because of what was going on. And I just lost it at one point. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to be around people because I was always anemic. I was always short of breath.
And now we short of bread at the time when there's COVID, somebody's going, surely it's COVID. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I didn't want to be around people because I don't want to give out that energy. Because I wouldn't sit there and be explaining my life problems to everybody. But then somebody could pick up like a negative vibration, like, why is she like that?
Doesn't want to talk, yes.
About them, but it's me battling with my own demons within me. So I had
another message right there. You don't know what if somebody's going through. You don't know what somebody's going through.
I just had to take myself out of that situation and not go to places that I would normally want to be. I want to be with my friends and celebrate stuff, or even just be with them whenever they need me to be. But I couldn't do it. And my friends would invite me over for weekends, and I'll be like, I'll come, and I'm never coming. So it's just, those are the things that it does to you. And
that's a lot. That's a lot. You see, we were been there, so sorry for ourselves. Oh my goodness, COVID was so stressful. COVID, the time was so, and our problem, our stress was Zoom. Well, the stress that we had, those of us with Zoom, I've not been to the mall in a while. I've not, look at what somebody else was going through.
COVID actually, it was, I don't know how to term this. Maybe you'll help me with the right words. COVID was the worst period in our lives, but it saved my life in a way, because during that period,
I understand exactly
everything went wrong for our family. Like, even when my brother had the donation, he went into a coma because of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
He was in a coma for a month.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just back to back. And this is when I started creating the scarves that we're wearing today, because I was going crazy, and I had to turn that energy to something so I could
channel it
alive.
Into, yes.
Yeah. I had to do something to stay alive, to stay positive,
to stay plugged into life, to stay connected to life, not thinking all those somber thoughts.
And I woke up
one day. Let me quickly jump in and ask how your brother is doing. How's your brother doing right now?
He's cracking on with life. He's fairly well. When these things happen, it's never going to be 100% okay, but he's accepted that this is his path, and he's also set up a charity called the Awambeng Renal Care Foundation. The plan is to build a renal care facility in Bamenda to help, patients suffering with renal failure, renal problems. So that foundation was launched in December in Cameroon. So
what is it called again, so people can hear it? And where do you do? Is there a website?
There is a website, and they're on Instagram. It's called Awambeng Renal Care Foundation.
Awambeng Renal Care Foundation. For those of you who are listening and watching, that's what to go do. Go look it up. Don't just sit there and say, no, it doesn't affect me. It does. It does. We're all one little tiny village, and you're saying it doesn't affect you. When they were growing up in Cameroon, how many years ago, did they have a clue it will affect them? No. We grew and
these things could affect the best of us. It doesn't.
Exactly.
When things like this happen, it could happen to
anybody whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you help. You don't even know whether you're helping your own self down the road, somebody, a brother down the road, your own grandchild coming down the road. You never know. So you just go ahead and you do those things, and you help. So how are you feeling now? You yourself too. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling
September.
I'm feeling okay, but like if you've watched the documentary, like Mr. Queen said at the end of it, when I asked him, what's the chance of this coming back? Most of the people who've had surgery, they've said this has come back, and there's a possibility that it could come back. So even though I'm feeling well at the moment, a part of me is still,
anxious.
Still anxious. So I still have that anxiety and that bit of stress, always thinking, what if? But I don't want to leave, spend my time thinking of what would happen. I want to enjoy this moment and be like, I'm fibroids free. I'm enjoying life for what it is at the moment. I don't want to dwell on what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm just trying to take in this moment and Each time I go past the mirror, I look at my stomach. When I lay down, I look at my stomach. I'm like, wow. You know, even now when I have my periods, I still don't believe I've had a period because it's too normal to be true.
Yes.
I'm not used to periods like that. I'm
That are
used
not
to
painful and just a nightmare.
I'm now bleeding for 4 days, and
Like
I'm like,
a normal cycle.
is this a joke or this is still going to come at some point? And it's not coming. I'm like, okay, what's happening? So that's what I'm going through.
Wow.
Each month. I'm still thinking maybe something, you know, but it's telling me that no, Hilda, you're well now. Just enjoy it. This is how a normal period should be like. No period pain. I'm not waking up at night to go to the loo. And my surgery healed really quickly. After a month, I was just up and about doing my own stuff. And my mom was looking at me like, what's she doing? Like, why is
Are
she
you sure
like
you
that?
should even be walking around the place?
Yeah. And I'll just be like, Mommy, I beg, let me do my business. When you're not here, I do it myself. And she's like, you know, she thought I'll just be lying there dead, waiting for people to come and spoon feed
and bring
me.
pepper soup and everything and stuff and give you a sponge bath.
I'm like, dearest mother, this is what I've gone through all my life. So I've built my own mechanism to survive. So
Coping, yes.
I'm not going to, you know, lie on the bed and wait for you. I'll just get up and do my own stuff. So she didn't understand why I was doing all of that. At some point, she was like, maybe that's how I'm healing. But I healed really, really well for a surgery of that magnitude. And that's down to, I would say this, that's down to the care that I had. Because my healing was not only physical, it was mental as well. My surgical team did a fantastic job. They really helped me through that process. When I came back home, I had an infection. And I emailed my surgeon. I emailed Mr.
Queen.
Yeah.
God bless him.
And he responded, like, this man is in theater or is in a private clinic. Like, this man is busy. His hands are full. And he would respond to my email and say, come to the hospital, go to this area. I've asked the nurses to see you. They'll check your wound. They'll give you. They gave me antibiotics. And after a week, I was fine. And he emailed me last week and said, come to clinic next week and do your bloods. I want to check your vitamin levels. These are the things that I didn't get after my first surgery. I didn't get this kind of care.
Follow up.
I didn't have it. So on Friday, I went for another MRI scan. So when I see my doctor next week, he's going to look at, because it's only been 5 months. So you remember my uterus was taken out of my body.
Right.
So he needs to make sure that everything has gone back in place.
Right.
So that's why I say to you, my healing was more than physical. It was because I was in the right hands as well.
Thank God. Thank God.
I trusted the person that was looking after me, and
thank God you put your trust in the competent person, because you can trust somebody and they don't know what it is that they are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. When we did the filming and everything, we discussed the risk. You know, in a surgery like this or any other surgery, the risk could be death.
Yes,
or
it's a possibility.
Hysterectomy. And I said to my surgeon that I understand the challenges with my situation. And I know that you want the best for me. And if we get into that theater, this is what I said to him before they took me into theater. I said to him, I trust that you want the best for me. And, you know, I've prayed to God and I'm at peace with what's going to happen. If I'm on that theater, on that bed, and you're challenged by my situation and you have to choose between saving my uterus or saving my life, I want you to make the best decision for me, because I'm not going to be awake to make that decision.
To tell you, this is what I opt. This is what I'm opting for. Yes.
And whatever decision that you make,
I will live with it.
I would accept it and live with it. I would never be defined by my uterus. Never. And we need to take away that power from people who think that, you know,
you're
women
good for
who
nothing.
have not given birth, women who don't have children,
Exactly.
they're less of, you know, a woman because of their uterus. women were suffering. This is
new
it
show.
puts a lot of pressure on women who are suffering with gynecological issues, and that's why they're not talking about it.
Not only not talking, that's why they don't even opt for the safer procedure. I had a classmate of mine, Justine, the very first person on this show, hers was breast cancer. She was talking about people who she has had a double mastectomy and had the implants, that's the whole thing done, looks top notch, you know. But the thing, you have people there whom the doctor tells them, this is what is recommended. They say, hey, no, my husband says he doesn't want to hear. Really?
Your husband?
He said doesn't want to hear. You go home and sit as if when you finally end up dying, it will take him 2 seconds to replace you.
Husband will move on within a second. By the time they finish paying for your casket, he's already moved on.
Yeah, replacement is already at the die crying to a yeah, replacement.
Absolutely.
At the die
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That,
we need to start debunking some of this myths. We need to start giving women, you know, the confidence, the courage to speak up, providing the right support. Correct. Women's health needs to be taken seriously.
And put out there to be talked about and discussed, not hush. That's what is happening. That's why the last time she was talking about taking little prostheses, they cannot do the surgery there in Cameroon, you know, to do the real surgery, to do the replacement. But at least they can take the little prosthesis thing so that you don't feel like, okay, now look at me with a flat chest. I'm supposed to be a woman is supposed to have curves and things. Would you rather be dead than be dead? Those are the things, but there's a lot of pressure because we are talking about it just as if it's an easy thing. People really sit down and consider not having these surgeries that are necessary because they're like, no, this is somebody who is there, almost even getting to 50. No, Rebecca did me my uterus, so you're planning to have how many more children, mommy? Some of us already had, for some it is, I've had only girls. I'm still trying to get that chop chair. I'll get that chop chair. You have 18 girls already. I said, I'll go for number 19 time. That's going to be that is, my goodness, my dear. I know that it is what we're saying here is like
the girl shy women, you know, women are very important people in the society, and the girl child needs to be empowered, you know, they need to be embraced. We need to make them feel comfortable to discuss these things, you know, with us. When I was young, I didn't have people, and that's because we didn't know any better. We didn't have platforms like yours where we could, you know, sensitize people, talk about issues like this. We didn't have them. Now we have them. There's no excuse why we shouldn't be, you know.
Go even look at like Sika, go from time to time, would have a talk or two, but it was never really in depth. But go there and actually tell them and let them end up having to know what they're talking about. You see, I'm even looking at that diagram right there. I remember drawing, in Miss Binder was teaching biology there, drawing those little ovaries and things. And I'm at least going and saying, yeah, look at that, look at it comes to life. Looking at your own right there, looking at the normal one. That's me, we even tried to go to school. Biology did some. Imagine there in the village, some of these diagrams and things, you can go to those rural centers there, these maternity places, and try to explain to people so that they have an idea, visualizing what's going on. When I have a pain on this side here like this during ovulation, that's because the egg has been released. I sort of sitting there thinking, now which they don't which me. Yeah, absolutely. And then when you know that there's something that odd, then you know, okay, there's something wrong here. Let me go check and see what's going on. Look, I cannot even just tell you how thankful to God, oh my Lord, for how things have turned out for you. And that by the time I even got to know about it, it's already a good thing. So I'm crying, I'm selling after the market with my crying. With my crying.
You're praising God with your tears. You're not crying. Yeah. It's tears of joy, of gratitude.
It is.
So that's what I say to everybody, because it wasn't by my doing. You know, God led me to Mr. Queen, and he chose me to bear this burden for a purpose, because he knew that I was willing to put myself out there. When I had 45 fibroids, I was like, you know what? This is not normal. So I'm going to tell my story one way or the other. I will tell my story, and I will never be put to shame because I'm unwell. I'll never let anybody have that power over me to say, and I'm in a very, very happy place. Like some people are still like, oh, you did that. I'm like, yes, I did it, because somebody on Twitter said they couldn't believe that we would be discussing fibroids on television, that's the best thing that they've ever seen on television.
Thank God. Oh, I
Somebody
will.
that I don't know.
This recording, I will send it to wherever it needs to be sent.
The Times, I'm on the Times, they're talking about fibroids.
Yes.
I'm on Daily Telegraph, I'm on all the press, you know, Google them, see them. And who am I? Just a small girl from Seka Baptist College. And I want us to carry on this conversation. It doesn't end on this platform. It doesn't end.
It will not end on this platform.
Carry on talking. We need to get our doctors to look at this because we need to find a solution. We don't want our daughters to go through the same problems that we're having.
That would be.
We don't want our grandchildren.
We would have wasted the. Why go through all of this for somebody else to come and go through the same thing from scratch? It should be what you're doing. That now it's an eye opener, and that makes somebody else's path smoother. And I'm glad you've chosen that option because not everybody does. Not everybody does. So I applaud you for doing that. And saying it's, most people still say it's my privacy, it's my this. They will now know me as that fibroid woman. They will now, so this is what they'll be saying. No, but when you come out there, the lives you will save, the peace of mind you will give people, to the validation, if I can use that term, that okay, I too can be, my own issue too can be put out there and spoken about. We too here, we are here as a group of people, we matter. Somebody has seen our plight. So I really do thank you, and I can only just wish you the best. I cannot wait to see you. Anyway, I cannot say wait to see you because you continue to be in those heels. Just on Hatalong, going to the doctor's visit, looking darn good still.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
I saw your friend, bless her dear heart. Give her a big old hug for me. You know, somebody who's going to be there for you, follow you around. I saw she was wearing her own scarf.
Yeah,
you're wearing your. That is it. So now let's talk about this part. Moving forward, that you still have the business going.
Yeah, I do. This has been my therapy, to be honest. So I had to.
I had no clue. I was buying for the love of Nyanga. I was buying.
No, thank you so much. I'll take this opportunity and just thank you for supporting my small business, especially at a time when a lot was just going on. I didn't work throughout 2021 because of all these health challenges that was going on. I was
there saying, let me support a little sister who's doing a good thing. What a wonderful idea. A little sister is doing a thing. Let me do and get. You said, let me get two of the thing. And then I was looking for you to come for us to push the business, to put it out there and say, look, they have these scarves, they go get the thing. I had no clue. Today I was like, I think I just even tied the two around my neck. I was just so happy with the whole thing to say, look at my, you just never know. You just never know. So what can they do? Because you contacted me specifically, but there was a website. There is a website.
Yeah, so it's available on MAMMYPI.com /shop. So
okay, so you go online.
Yeah.
Let me look right here what it says. And this is pure silk. It's not a joke.
It's 100% Mulberry silk, the best quality silk.
Google it, you'll find it. I'm trying to see here. So it's MAMMYPI is MAMMYPI.com.
/shop to take you to the shop, the landing
the shop
page.
itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So MAMMYPI.com //shop. Please, if you leave this interview right now, you're free to go right now. If you're going to the shop, you're free to leave right now. You're free to leave us here and go right now to the shop and go purchase this, saying to yourself, it is quality. Number one, you're paying for quality. It's unique. Where are you going to find silk scarves that have our own country designs on them? I hope you can see this one. For this time, I'm tying has part of that other design in it as well.
Yeah.
Go there and encourage our sister. She's already, look, I don't even know how to just clap, and say, your courage is inspiring. Your courage is inspiring. There is much less that happened to people that has beaten them down and they just like disappeared from circulation and just vanished into nothingness. But instead, you have, as you have said, none of us is defined. Yes, there are women. Mammy for this, mommy so means you're bringing children into the world. No, that's not everybody's destiny. That's not everybody's path biologically. What you know in your head doesn't mean that you must first have born children in a maternity thing before you can advise a child. Aunties do the same thing. Cousins do the same thing. Sisters do the same thing. Their children, the adoption is not even a taboo anymore. No, you cannot take a woman, a whole woman with a brain and everything, and just narrow her down to a uterus.
No.
That's part of who she
We're
is, part of her
saying no to
anatomy.
that moving forward. No.
Yes, yes. Where you take a
Children are
person,
gifts from God. You know, we love them, we adore them. But if you know a woman that doesn't have a child, please, you know, you still need to give her that same respect and love, because she has a lot more to offer in life.
and just that.
And they could be raising children that are not biologically theirs, but they'll give them the best love and care that they have. So we should.
If I started naming examples now, we'll be here now at least till midnight. Yes.
Yeah.
Of all who've done that, they don't have children of their own, but boy, have they taken, look, in fact, other people's children, their nieces gravitate towards them much more than to their own parents. I want to go to auntie so and so, I want to go to auntie so and so. Who is a mother? Look, mothering thing is a figure, not necessarily a biological thing. No. Yes. Same thing with dads. Same thing with dads. So we have to do that mind shift. We have to, not making people think, which is why they're telling them, look, maybe the best option for you is to have a hysterectomy. They're like, to fear quoi? No, I need to stay with this because even oh, it looks like the breast cancer, it's spreading. Leave my breast there. Which kind of woman am I going to be without any breasts? A woman with a lot of, your brain's there, your hands are there. You have other things that you can do that you can be useful. So please don't define. Women's Day is coming along. In fact, I'm thinking maybe I'll not even wait for this for the next Saturday to air this. Seriously, the sooner we hear it, the better. So thank you so much. Your voice is powerful. Look at the little frame of you there, but your voice is magnified 1,000,000 times. The BBC, the Times, wherever it is, even this little show right here, it will get to wherever it needs to get to.
Don't call this platform little, because the impact, the thing is, you never appreciate, you don't even know what impact you have around the world. Everybody, you don't have to be a secret to know of this platform. So I tell even my audience that you are as important as this platform, because without you, there is no platform, right? I'm doing this because you exist. If you don't exist, my platform doesn't exist. So never underestimate the power of your voice.
What somebody can do, put it out there. And one more voice never hurts. One more. There are places that certain things can go to where other things may not go to for all kinds of reasons. Somebody may be there, just happen to go by and listen, and it will change their lives. It will make a difference. So I thank you. I really do. And my prayers, my knees will stay on that floor for that, for it not to come back. But you already know that you're capable of beating this. You already beat it. It already not to just come back. Yeah. For you to have the platform and the energy to keep going and making the world a far, far better place than it would have been were you not existing in it. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you, and grateful to God for you. All right, and people don't know
the mother's prayer is always very powerful. And
trust me, it will be. I will be on my knees and asking and making sure that this is a voice we need. This is a voice we definitely need. And look at how people don't know here, even people listening to this show. At the beginning, we tried to do this little recording there. We had technical difficulties there, struggling and everything. But she said, no, I'm going to get it done. And look, we're supposed to start at a certain time. On the dot, I saw the little thing says waiting in the waiting room, ready to come. And
we don't give up in life when we have challenges, right? We keep trying. We don't give up. You know, you shouldn't give up when you're faced with challenges. Always look for a solution. Always look for that, ray of light and hold on to it. Don't just drop everything and say it's not working, I'm not going to do it. That's not the way to
operate, to go through life with this defeated attitude.
Yeah, and it will eventually work out.
It will. The show has worked out. You yourself have worked out. That business by hook or by crook is going to work out. People, please go to that MAMMYPI.com/shop and go get something from there.
And give to your mothers and say thank you to them.
Yeah. Amen. Christmas gifts, Mother's Day, any Sister's Day, anything day, or nothing day. I just love you, my sister. Thank you for being in my life. I love you.
Can I just say one thing, Auntie, for our brothers, parents, daddies listening? If you see your niece, your daughter laying in bed, crying, their stomach or something, just sit with them for a second and just ask them, how can I help? Do you want a hot water bottle? Do you want some painkillers? Just listen to them. They might just want to cry, because sometimes you just want to just let it out in tears and just cry, and somebody to just rub your back
and say Asha, and just have your time.
Asha, and just show that concern. Don't always say, is that her period pain again?
Yes.
You
Now
know,
another woman thing. Yeah. And if you're a man too, another thing is be sympathetic to start to say, okay, that woman thing, so no chop for this house. So the person is doubled over there in pain, sitting there still on this thing, pepper stone, grind. Maybe you can go and order something from the restaurant place for that night, for that small time, and people try to, but you know, just to be more sensitive, and just more aware that that kind of possibility is out there, and that this person is going through something will help. I'm glad you threw that in there for our men folk.
Yeah.
We are raising sons, because not only the ones that are older. Look, let us be frank. The older men, our dads and everything, we thought, don't go there. It's women's things. Don't go there. So don't touch it. Don't even look in that direction. Life has changed. The man was saying, don't go there like that. The other people or the bigger children in the house will help. You are saying, don't go there now. You are here in the white man country. There's only 2 of you in that house. So which house girl is going to come and cook the food that you're saying? It's only her.
It's only her.
So when you're saying that in Cameroon and say don't go there and she cannot do whatever it is, maybe the house girl will come and help. Maybe it's somebody, your mother is in the house, will come and help. But you're out here with her and there's only her. When she's going through this kind of a thing, a sympathetic word, a kind word, I can take some money and go order food. Look at them now. They all said, when we all ordering food now, when we're then during COVID, we're not at the beginning, before you can go and actually even go buy anything. So no matter that you don't want to cook the food, it was like you're first going to where to go buy the okra to come and even cook it. So we're all ordering food and eating it. And that man who said he cannot eat anything except it has been powdered in the mortar piece with the mortar pieces and the grinding stone. Didn't he eat it? Did he die?
They ate them and they survived.
Real? Hello? For real? So everything that has not happened right with the COVID itself has taught us some very valuable lessons. Absolutely. And everything. So whatever little lesson we can learn from this, I say it, don't let this lady suffer, go to waste. She's gone through this thing for a reason. The least we can do that God spared us from her going through this on our behalf is for us to look at this whole thing and take the lessons from it, learn them. The medical lessons, the emotional lessons, the sympathy lessons, the everything lessons. Plus, I keep saying the business lesson. Go get this, support this lady. Please do. There you go. So that one, that's a new one that I don't have. I'm going to be going to go look for it. Spring, look at the spring colors right there.
Yeah.
Spring, yes, colors right there. To beautify, you think, see how you can wear a t-shirt like she's wearing a simple t-shirt. You put that on there and bam. If you have some more, show also. If you have any others, there, do you have any other specimens of the thing? Show. Do you have any there with you? Beautiful. I see those colors right there.
Of course, I can go and get them and show them on the screen.
I'm going to do that pause thing. Don't go away. Don't go away. We are going to be right back in a second. I'm going to go ahead and pause. So we're back on. I hope you didn't go away. You see, I've taken the opportunity to change my hair tie a bit so that you can see more of this other design here to match the other scarf, the last little scarf. And she has brought us some samples of what she has on the shop. So let's see them.
So there are 4 designs in the MANGYE collection. It's called MANGYE because it's named after my maternal grandmother who raised me. So this is a tribute to her. So this vibrant orange scarf is adapted from the South African Shweste fabric. And all of them are 100% mulberry silk. I hope you can see that.
I can see it. Raise it up a little bit more. That's the one you have around your neck, right? Yes.
Yes.
That one is really lovely.
The one I'm wearing.
Yes.
And that's how it looks like. And we've got this, the pearl scarf. This has got some like pearl designs on there. So this is adapted from the Togo one as well.
Yes, it's a different design. It's a different design from this one. It's different from this one.
Yeah,
that
it's
one doesn't
different
have the
from
pearls.
that one, from the traditional Togo. And then we've got the Bamileke one as well.
Yes, this is the kind of like what I have around my neck right here. And they're a reasonable size, you see.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the two sizes. So we've got the 70 by 70 centimeters and the 90 by 90 centimeters. So the one I'm wearing, the one you have, Auntie Egbe, they are the 70 by 70.
Okay.
And
you have there's the 90 now.
Yeah, so I have two sizes now.
I will get the 91 so that you can actually drip.
Yeah, so this is quite big.
I can see it. I can see that is definitely bigger.
Yeah, this is really, really, if you see, it's
beautiful.
Really, really
beautiful.
Yeah.
You can actually put it on over your shoulder like that and drip and wear it with pride.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
no, that I will be going to get the one, and everybody is invited. Like I said, oh, look at that. Just a pop of color. It's like you're wearing a whole, it's a whole outfit in itself. Yeah. So ladies, go get husbands and boyfriends and whoever it is, go get them for your significant others there. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Look at this one, really matches your earrings. All right, my dear. Thank you, Helen, for taking the time to come and sit here and tell your story. Let that beautiful smile I see on your face, let it stay there. Let it stay there.
Thank
and
you so much.
You've been brave for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime. And when the business one comes, when this is not going to be about the medical thing, you still owe me that business show. We won't talk about
a fashion segment.
We will do that. Yeah. We will do that. Yes, but that's about I've got my own scarf too, so we'll have a show. All right. God bless you, my dear.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Bye now.
All right.